If I'm elected president, we are going to drain the swamp in Washington, D.C.
We are going to drain the swamp in Washington, D.C.
It's time to drain the swamp of corruption.
Drain the swamp. Look at that sign. Drain the swamp. We're going to drain the swamp of Washington. We're going to have fun doing it. We're all doing it together.
And we're going to drain the swamp in Washington, D.C. We are going to drain the swamp of government corruption in Washington, D.C.
It is time to drain the swamp in Washington, D.C.
We are going to Washington, D.C. and we are going to drain the swamp.
Many times I said we would drain the swamp, and that's exactly what we're doing right now. We're draining the swamp.
And we are going to end the government of corruption, which it has definitely been.
So, I've always said they're lousy politicians, but they do two things. They're vicious and mean. Vicious. These people are vicious. Adam Schiff is a vicious, horrible person. Nancy Pelosi is a horrible person. And she wanted to impeach a long time ago when she said, I pray for the president. I pray for the president. She may pray, but she prays for the opposite. But I doubt she prays at all. And these are vicious people. But they do two things. They stick together. Historically, I'm not talking now. They stick together like glue. They stuck together, and they're vicious as hell. The New York Times is so dishonest. The Washington Post is so dishonest. They write things. You can do something great, and they can make it sound horrible. You can do something good, and they can make it sound beyond belief bad, like it's the worst thing ever. And I said it a little bit before, you can do something great, and it doesn't get reported. That's, in a way, just as bad, because a lot of people can figure it out. The level of dishonesty in the media is, I think they're the most dishonest people I've ever dealt with.
So you still think he should be impeached?
I think it's my turn, isn't it?
You do whatever you want. You call it whatever you want. I want to tell you, they lied. They said there were weapons of mass destruction. There were none, and they knew there were none. There were no weapons of mass
Okay,
destruction.
all right. Governor Bush.
Obviously, the war in Iraq is a big, fat mistake, all right? Now, you can take it any way you want.
The war in Iraq, we spent $2 trillion, thousands of lives. We don't even have it. Iran is taking over Iraq with the second largest oil reserves in the world. Obviously, it was a mistake. So George Bush made a mistake. We can make mistakes, but that one was a beauty. We should have never been in Iraq. We have destabilized the Middle East. We've spent $5 trillion in the Middle East because of thinking like that. The world, I lost hundreds of friends. The World Trade Center came down during the rain. He kept us safe. That's not safe. That is not safe, Mark.
The World Trade Center came down because Bill Clinton didn't kill Osama bin Laden when he had the chance to kill him.
And George Bush, by the way, George Bush had the chance also, and he didn't listen to the advice of his CIA.
Fox, he said today, and I'm quoting him, he said, I'm not going to pay for that, quote, effing wall. So if you don't get an actual check from the Mexican government for $8 or $10 or $12 billion, whatever it will cost, how are you going to make them pay for the wall?
I will, and the wall just got 10 feet taller, believe me. It's got 10 feet taller. I tell you, they are trying to steal the election, just like they did it last time with spying, and we caught them, and that included President Obama. And then somebody said, well, what are you going to do? Well, we can't attack a president. Oh, I see. If it was me. They said, we can't attack a president. We caught him. We caught him cold.
7 years, Joe Biden shipped away your jobs, shut down your factories, threw open your borders, and ravaged our cities while sacrificing American blood and treasure in endless and ridiculous foreign wars.
The problem is you don't write the truth. So, as far as I'm concerned, I want to go to the next question because you have an agenda. You're CNN. You're fake news. You have an agenda.
You are all talk and no action. What I see, yet this massive scandal is being covered up by the media and big tech, right? All those people. Look at them. Up here. I mean, first of all, this guy's a joke artist and this guy's a liar.
You're the only person on the stage that's ever been fined for hiring people to work on your projects illegally. You hired some workers from Poland.
I'm the only one on the stage that's hired people. You haven't hired anybody. To say he lied this time, he lied. 100%. 100%.
Senator been funding liberal Democratic politicians, and by the way,
I funded you.
The
I
reason
funded him.
you're welcome to have the check back.
I funded this guy. I'm beating him awfully badly in the polls.
But you're not beating Hillary.
So
you're not beating Hillary.
Well, then if I can't beat her, you're really going to get killed, aren't you? And by the way, I could call these guys. Every one of them would give me millions. I'm president. I called heads of Wall Street firms. I'd say, hey, do me a favor, could you give me $5 million every single one? I can't do that, though, because you know what? If I do that, I got to do things for them, and I want to do what's right. I could raise
You're so disgraceful. It's so disgraceful the way you said it.
So let me ask you this, because you're really getting beaten badly. I know you're embarrassed. I know you're embarrassed, but keep fighting, keep swinging, man. Swing for the fences.
That's a matter of principle, and I'll tell you.
Biggest liar. You probably are worse than Jeb Bush. You are the single. Go ahead. No, not you. Not you. Your organization's terrible. 2016, you voted to fire this corrupt and decrepit political establishment, and you elected an outsider as president to finally put America first. I'm not going to give you a question. You are fake news. Go ahead. I want you all to know that we are fighting the fake news. It's fake, phony, fake.
Look. You know you're a fake. You know that. Your whole network, the way you cover it, is fake.
A few days ago, I called the fake news the enemy of the people, and they are. They are the enemy of the people. And the Biden family is a criminal enterprise. Frankly, it makes crooked Hillary Clinton look like an amateur.
It's like in a state of shock.
I'm not thinking, Mr.
That's
President.
okay. I know you're not thinking. You never do.
I'm sorry?
No, go ahead.
And I laid out a series of questions that any good journalist would want to answer about why people were unmasked and all sorts of questions. And I just wanted to follow up with you guys on that. Did anyone take it upon themselves to pose any questions about Michael Flynn and unmasking the President Obama spokesperson? Oh, not a single journalist has posed that question. Okay. So I would like to lay out a series of questions, and perhaps if I write them out in a slide format, maybe we're visual learners and you guys will follow up with journalistic curiosity. So number one, why did the Obama administration use opposition research funded by a political organization and filled with foreign dirt to surveil members of the Trump campaign? Number two, why was Lieutenant General Michael Flynn unmasked? Not by the intel community entirely, but by Obama's chief of staff, by the former Vice President Joe Biden, by Susan Rice, by the Treasury Secretary. I mean, this is extraordinary. And, if it were political appointees in the Trump administration, I can guarantee you I'd have questions in my inbox right now, but apparently Obama's spokesperson does not. Why was Flynn's identity leaked in a criminal act? It is a criminal act to leak the identity of Michael Flynn to the press, but it happened. Where are the questions to Obama's spokesperson? Because my team would be running around this building should this have happened under the Trump administration. Why did the DOJ, Sally Yates, learn about the unmasking from President Obama? So much for going by the book. As Susan Rice said 3 times, thou doth protest too much, Susan Rice. And then finally, question number 5. Why did James Clapper, John Brennan, Samantha Power, and Susan Rice privately admit under oath they had no evidence of collusion while saying the opposite publicly? It's a long weekend. You guys have 3 days to follow up on those questions, and I certainly hope the next time I ask, some hands go up, because Obama's spokesperson should be asked those questions, because President Trump's spokespeople certainly would be. I guess I would turn the question back on the media and ask similar questions. Does Vox want to take back that they proclaim that the coronavirus would not be a deadly pandemic? Does the Washington Post want to take back that they told Americans to get a grip, the flu is bigger than the coronavirus? Does the Washington Post likewise want to take back that our brains are causing us to exaggerate the threat of the coronavirus? Does the New York Times want to take back that fear of the virus may be spreading faster than the virus itself? Does NPR want to take back that the flu was a much bigger threat than the coronavirus? And finally, once again, the Washington Post, would they like to take back that the government should not respond aggressively to the coronavirus? I'll leave you with those questions, and maybe you'll have some answers in a few days.
I want to assure the American people that we're doing everything we can each day to confront and ultimately defeat this horrible, invisible enemy. We're at war. In a true sense, we're at war.
The Republican-Jewish coalition.
You're not going to support me, even though you know I'm the best thing that could ever happen to Israel, and I'll be that. And I know why you're not going to support me, and you're not going to support me because I don't want your money. You want to control your own politician. That's fine, good. But I will think about that, folks. Don't worry about it.
You get it? Don't worry about it. You Jews won't support me because I don't want your money, and you Jews, you like to support and control your own politicians.
You're brutal killers. Not nice people at all, but you have to vote for them. You have no choice. You're not going to vote for Pocahontas, I can tell you that. You're not going to vote for the wealth tax. Yeah, let's take 100% of your wealth away. No. Even if you don't like me, some of you don't. Some of you I don't like at all. And you're going to be my biggest supporters because you'll be out of business in about 15 minutes if they go. So I don't have to spend a lot of time on it. It's the outsiders who change the world and who make a real and lasting difference.
You are at a level now where I can die next to you.
Time for you to die!
I can see your eyes have more power in them. That's good. First you have to know, not fear, know that someday you're gonna die. It's only after we've lost everything that we're free to do anything.
Who would dare oppose us? Who? Who?
The one they call Trump is who?